Hey everyone, this is Fabio and welcome back. And tonight, since it's evening here in London, we're going to do a video response to Steven the Lucky Gamer. I'm a big fan of his channel and just finished watching his video about pushing through video games, which I think it's a very interesting topic. At first I was thinking about writing a comment, but then it's more interesting making a video in my case, I think, since I managed to gather 3 examples of games that I had to push through in order to finish them, and in one case out of 3 I still haven't finished it. It's a massive pushing through in order to get it. And it's interesting because I picked this game which have 3 very different appreciation. Like, one was an extremely positive pushing through, another one, which is the one I haven't finished yet, I'm pushing through it, but I want to finish it. And the third one, I pushed through it and I didn't like it at the end. So let's just start it, I'll say, with the positive one. And for me, playing Final Fantasy V was kind of a push through because of technical difficulties. I love the game. I love Final Fantasy V immensely. It's one of my favorite Final Fantasy games. And playing through this, however, was difficult because I think I have a defective card. I mean, I'm pretty sure of it, since every time I turn off my DS, since I don't own technically a Game Boy Advance, I play my Game Boy Advance games on my DS, and every time I turned it off, for whatever reason, maybe go to sleep or whenever I want to stop playing, the game deleted my save files, so I have to start all over again. So in order to finish Final Fantasy V, because I loved it from the first second, I was forced to keep my DS on. So I kept it on for days and days and days, since it took me a while, of course, to finish it because it's quite a big game. But at the end, I was able to finish this game, but it was quite a struggle at the end because, of course, with my situation, I try to play one game at a time so I can focus on it mainly in order to finish it, because that's what I want to do. I want to finish my games, not just start them, move to another one, and to another one, maybe finish one. I don't like working that way, as I did, like, mainly in the past. In the last years, I've been quite I've disciplined myself in order to play one at a time so I can go somewhere. But with Final Fantasy V, it was kind of difficult because at one point I wanted to play something else, even just to distract myself, but I couldn't touch the DS since I was forced to kept it on. So I left the DS like plugged to the electricity in order to avoid it to die on me, and play something else. Then I came back to the DS and was able to keep going, repeat this process until I beat the game. And I'm glad because I really enjoyed it. It was a great experience playing this game, but it was a push through since it was so complicated during this way. By keeping my DS on, I eliminated 2 of my consoles, since I don't have most of my consoles here. I just have my portable ones, so I was forced to play the PSP, even though maybe at the time I wanted to play the DS, I couldn't because Final Fantasy V was there. So it was kind of a struggle, but a very positive one because I really enjoyed the game. The next one, it's interesting because it's a game that I am enjoying it. I like it very much, actually, but it's a real push through. I mean, it's really struggling to play this one. It's I haven't finished it yet, and I already had 2 major sessions with this, of hours and hours playing exclusively this one, but I'm playing something else at the moment, and I don't know when I will like to get back to it and try to finish it. And the game, it's Freedom Wars on the Vita. I really like this. I love this game. It's really unique, really original, especially in terms, I think, of setting, characters. Story is really weird, but the setting is really, I think, where the game is at. The combat, this is mainly a action game, third-person view action game, but boy, this is a frustrating and very difficult game in terms of the challenging in taking on these giant robots. The abductors are called. Get ready for some real tough, long, and frustrating battles with this. And as I said, even though I'm liking it, I really like this game. It's maybe top 5 among my video games. It's difficult to say, but I'm really enjoying it. As I said, I love the style of this. I love the setting. The combat is really good, but oh my goodness, it's frustrating. But also in a positive way, because yes, taking down an abductor, it's really tough. It takes a long time, and you get ready to at least 30 minutes long battles with just one of these. Sometimes you have to fight 2 at a time, and that's when it gets insanely hard. Why there are other robots or other people trying to kill you, and your team sometimes the teamwork is not at its best. It depends on the map, it depends on the levels of the enemies, but it can get really frustrating. But there's nothing better than win a battle against an enemy abductor. I mean, the sense of satisfaction of accomplishment that you get for taking these huge bastards down, it's really great, and that's what it keeps me going to Freedom Wars. I mean, I'm liking it. I mean, it's a great game, but this level of frustration, and sometimes it's so annoying. I mean, when you're fighting a robot for like 40 minutes, 45 minutes, even an hour at times, I mean, with the really big ones, and then you die because, I don't know, the battlefield is full of enemies. Your teammates cannot resurrect you in time. Your how's it called? Your own robot. Let's say, I don't remember the name. I cannot remember it. Damn it! Accessory. There you go. Your accessory get captured. That's the most frustrating thing. You die and lose your robot, your accessory. So you have to do a special mission just to rescue that from an abductor. So get ready to spend another hour just to free your accessory. It's really frustrating at time, and when that happens, you really want to snap your Vita, but luckily it's so expensive that you don't do it. But that's how I do sometimes. I was like, when that happens. But again, when I said, when you win in Freedom Wars, it's such a great moment, and that's what it's keeping me pushing through this game. That, as I said multiple times, I really enjoyed it. I really liking it, but I'm not used to be so frustrated with a game. I mean, but I'm loving it. So Freedom Wars, a really weird kind of pushing through this game. Very frustrating at time, both in the negative but also positive way of the scale of frustration. And finally, we're going into the negative pushing through, the kind of game that you don't care about, but you're still playing it, you're still pushing through in order to finish it. And for me, that was Final Fantasy VII. It might kind of surprising, since it's a very high-regarded game, a very beloved game for most RPG fans, but by the end of the day, in the grand scheme of things, I fundamentally dislike Final Fantasy VII. Mainly because I didn't like the story when I played it on the PS1. I really didn't like the characters, so I wasn't invested into it. And by half of the game, I say, or something like that, I completely lost interest in this game, but I kept playing it. I kept going because I wanted to finish it, since I spent a lot of time, and I was like, no, fuck that, I don't want to waste all the, I don't know, like 50 hours or something that I put into this simply because it's nothing special. For whatever reason, I kept playing it and go and go and go until I beat the game. And don't even start with the ending. That was one of the worst I ever saw. And I was like, when I finished it, that's it? What a waste of time. But at least I finished it. So, but I don't hate Final Fantasy VII. That's the weird thing also, because there are aspects of that game that I really like. Like, I love the combat system and the materia system. I love the music, the soundtrack, it's great. Especially my favorite theme of that game is the theme of the Shinra Corporation, Shinra Inc. That was fantastic. And I also like the setting, and in particular Midgar. I really like that. But apart from that, like, I really didn't like this game. As much as I wanted, as much as I should. I mean, or... I don't know, since I'm a huge RPG fan, I mean, I love JRPGs. Not liking it Final Fantasy VII, it's a bit weird. When I said it to my friends or something, I was like, really? But hey, it's just my opinion at the end of the day. But yeah, that's weird because I finished it. I played so much of it without liking it, and that's really unusual because when I don't like a game, I stop playing it. But with that, I don't know. It's because at first I liked it. Up until I was in Midgar and stuff like that, I liked the game. But progressively, I really lost interest into the story because I never liked the characters. Starting from Cloud, ended up with Sephiroth. All those characters are really mediocre at best to me. So, but at the end of the day, I kept playing it, and I beat the game, even though at the end I was like, meh, whatever, let's play something else. I don't know. I don't know what's wrong with me, but yeah, I really had a overall negative experience with Final Fantasy VII, but I beat the game. It's actually the first Final Fantasy I beat, since it's also, I think, the first main Final Fantasy game that we had in Europe. So I was like, all this crescendo of enthusiasm for Final Fantasy, because I played a couple of those on the Super Nintendo, but I just rented them, played for some days, and I fell in love with the series. Thanks, I think it was Final Fantasy 2 or 3, which we all know it's 4 and 6. But I just rented them for a couple of days, and that's it. I never played them again until I bought them again recently, years ago. But with Final Fantasy VII, it's the first Final Fantasy I actually owned, so I had really high expectation, also because I love 4 and 6. And I was like, oh no, this is nothing special. Again, but I pushed through and I beat the game, even though I didn't like it very much. So these are just few examples that I thought in a couple of seconds after Steven's video that I was able to think about it. There are probably others, I don't know, but I think it's interesting I gave you a full ideas of games that I pushed through even though I like it, even though it's very frustrating, or a game I didn't like it. So that's some of my examples of pushing through gaming for all the reasons, different reasons. And thanks so much for watching, guys, like always. Huge shout out to Steven, of course, the Laggy Gamer. I don't think I need to, but anyways, go watch his video, go subscribe to his channel, since he's a great YouTuber, big fan. Hope to see you next with my upcoming, I think, video, since I'm close to the end of the game, so I think I made another video soon. So again, thanks for watching, guys, like always. Take care.